Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Deondra, and I'm back with another banger. You already know the vibe, real moments, and beautiful memories. Before we get into today's video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and join the family. Without any further ado, let's get into today's video. So, in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my trip to Great Zimbabwe. My trip to Great Zimbabwe. So I'm gonna be telling you guys what I experienced in Great Zimbabwe, what I saw, what I learned in Great Zimbabwe. Because yeah, I learned a lot of stuff in Great Zimbabwe. I saw a lot of stuff in Great Zimbabwe. I was been to Great Zimbabwe when I was like way young and stuff, but when I went this time, I don't know. It just felt good and more fun. So yeah, as you already by the title, I'm gonna be taking you. I'm not gonna be taking you guys along with me. I'm actually gonna be telling you what I did at Great Zimbabwe. So we left for Great Zimbabwe around 3 a.m. on a Friday. Yeah, we left Friday 3 a.m. in the morning. It was very dark and very cold. Um and we arrived there, Great Zimbabwe, like around two. Yeah, around 2 o'clock. That's when we arrived at Great Zimbabwe. So I didn't really like record much when we departed from here. When departed, I really did record much. Because it was dark and yeah, and there's no light. It was dark, but I was able to like capture like us in the bus and stuff like that with my friends sitting in the bus. Yeah, it was a long drive. It was like a very long drive because it's like from here, from Mutare to Mashingo. It's long. Yeah, for me, it's like it's a long drive. It's a long drive, and yeah. So we got something to eat. We ate in the road on our way to Great Zimbabwe. We ate. Yeah, it was fun. We played music. It was amazing. We had fun, lots of fun, and we arrived at Great Zimbabwe around 2. Like I said, around 2 p.m. Yeah, around 2. I didn't really check the time, but it was like somewhere there around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So when we arrived to Great Zimbabwe, we had a tour guide with us, a female tour guide. She like showed us like a map of Great Zimbabwe, like the places we are gonna be visiting. Like we visited like the Great Enclosure, the King's Palace, the Queen's Palace as well, and the Village Place and the Conical Tower. Yeah, she showed us all that on a map. And yeah, with her showing us that map, we already knew the places that we are going to go, the places that we are going to visit. I'm sure I recorded it. I took a video of that, as you guys can see. So we first went to the King's Palace. That's the first thing that we went to. And boy, it was high. Like he stayed high. For all of you guys know, or for all of you, the rest of you guys, if you've been to Great Zimbabwe, you will know what I'm talking about because the king stayed very far. Like he stayed up in the mountains. Like when I was going up, my legs were sore. Even the rest of my other friends, like they were tired climbing those stairs. I'm like, I even thought to myself, like, how would his wives be, his wife, because he had wives, the king had wives, and they'll all go up there and visit the king. I'm like, this is very tiresome. Like, don't they get tired or something like that? Like, but it's fine anyways. So we went up to the palace to go see where the king stayed and stuff like that, where the king stayed, because there are many kings that used to stay there. But so before we go any further, I'm gonna tell you guys a quick history of Great Zimbabwe. So it took Great Zimbabwe 400 years to be built. 400 good years for Great Zimbabwe to be built. And the word Zimbabwe comes from a Shona phrase meaning stone houses. Great Zimbabwe was built by the Shona people. Yes, the Shona people built Great Zimbabwe. And another thing, Great Zimbabwe was a polygamist like heritage site. Like the king who ruled will marry like a number of wives. He will marry for like about 200 wives. That's a lot. Hey, that's like a lot. And those wives will like stay at their own place. They wouldn't stay with the king. They were like staying like in a village or their own place. And those wives would take turns to go visit the king. Because the king had many wives. They all have to take turns to go visit their husband, right? So yeah, they'll go take turns and they'll go and visit their king up in the castle. Like up in the castle. And another thing, those wives, they're very strong. I have to say this. Those wives, they were very strong. Imagine You climb that place. I don't know how many times they'll visit the king, but for me, when I climbed the place, it was very high. Like I was tired. I couldn't go any further. I was very tired. And yeah, so Zimbabwe was a polygamous heritage place, and Great Zimbabwe also practiced trade. They will trade with other foreign country or for other foreign countries in Africa, like gold, ivory, yeah. They'll trade with other African countries. Right, back to my story. So when we arrived up at the King's Palace, finally arrived. We were she took like 20 minutes. We were like 20 minutes in there. So she gave us a tour around the place, around the whole place. It was a big place. It was a big place. It was a big place. She showed us where the king would stay, where the king stayed, and the kitchen there. She also took us deeper into the castle, into the palace, and we saw we entered like a cave. Yeah, a cave like with mostly spiritual stuff will be done in that cave. Yeah, it was my first time being in a cave because I've never been in a cave. So after the cave, we were taken to so it was more like a court, but it wasn't a court. It was like a place where like people will be judged, like a judgment. Yeah. So the king was like the judge, and then let's say they're like criminals that way they'll go there and they'll be judged and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, and we were also taken to like the grave, not the graveyard, but like a place where like the kings will be buried. And the crazy thing is that when we were walking there, so like we were walking and then the tour guide just stopped me and we also stopped and we were like standing like on these rocks, on top of these like bumpy rocks and stuff like that. Eh. And then she was like, okay, so this is where the kings were buried. And then all of us are just looking at each other like, where were the kings buried? And then she's like, right there where you're standing. And we all looked down like, what? Like, yeah, right here where you're standing. There are buried people down there. We all started freaking out like, what? We're standing on people that were buried. Yeah, so people were buried where we're standing. I didn't really take a video of that place. So the kings were buried down there. Like the kings who ruled back then, they were buried down there. And yeah, it was sealed. Like it was closed with those rocks. So we couldn't get in anymore. It was sealed because yeah, no more kings. So there's no one to bury. So after that, we went down. We went down the king. We did a lot of stuff at the king's palace. A lot of stuff. I'll show you the videos. We did a lot. We were given a tour around the whole place. It's a very big place. So we went down, and our next destination was the museum. So at the museum, we were told that we shouldn't record anything or we shouldn't eat in the museum. So I didn't record anything because we're not allowed. It was forbidden. So when we entered the museum, so we then headed to the traditional place, the traditional dances. We went there and we danced to music. The traditional dances that were there. It was great. It was amazing. We had fun. We danced along with them, and then we went to buy like some bracelets, necklaces. They're like stuff that were being sold there. So I bought like a bracelet, two bracelets, and the Zimbabwean bird. Now I'll show you guys the Zimbabwean bird. And we didn't really take much time there, but yeah, it was amazing. We did so much stuff. It was fun. It was amazing. After that, we went to the queen's place where the queens were where the queens would stay. So when we arrived there, we were told that girls wouldn't go to school and stuff like that. They would just like stay at home with their mothers, and the mothers would teach them like adulthood, how to be a wife, how to stuff, do all the stuff, do house chores and stuff like that. So we went there. We showed the kitchen where the ladies would sit there and being taught by the queen, and then we saw the conical tower. Yes, we saw the conical tower, and we took some pictures there. Group picture. It was amazing. It was nice. Took a group picture, and after that we were done. After that we were done. So yeah, we visited the king's place. We visited the museum. We visited the traditional dances. We visited the conical tower where the queen stayed, where the 100, 200 wives would stay. Yeah, we visited all that place. I'm sure you guys have seen by the videos, like a lot have been happening there. And then after that we were done. we thanked our tour guide for the wonderful tour, and we've learned a lot. And then we were on our way to Lake Kyle. Yes, Lake Kyle. It was not like around we actually did like we actually did for 2 hours at Great Zimbabwe, and then after Great Zimbabwe we then went to Lake Kyle. Lake Kyle, yeah. So we arrived at Lake Kyle, and yeah, we had fun. We had fun. Saw the water, touched the water, took some pictures, took some videos. We didn't really stay that much. We didn't stay that long at Lake Kyle, but yeah, we had fun. And we're done. We went home. It was getting dark. It was getting dark because after after we were at Lake Kyle, we like got in the water and just to feel the water, and we were cold in it. It was very cold. And we went home. Went back to the taxi. Then we on the road back home. That road, that journey is very long. Coming back here, it was like very long. I don't know how long it takes, but like it's long. Maybe like 4 hours. Yeah, to Masingo. But it was long. But anyways, yeah, we we then came back around 3. We came back around 3 a.m. 3 a.m. on Saturday. 3 a.m. Saturday morning. We left to Great Zimbabwe on Friday 3 a.m. and arrived on Saturday 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the Great Zimbabwean bird. This is bird number 2 that I was talking about. The fake one that I was saying like the neck, yeah, it was chopped off. The neck was chopped off. So yeah, this is like bird number 2. As you can see, it looks so good. It's nice. It's very nice. And this is the Conco Tower. The Conco Tower. Here. That's what the Conco Tower is. And yeah, I also got bracelets, and I got 2 bracelets, nice bracelets, and yeah. So this is a sign. This is actually a sign to show you that I went to Great Zimbabwe, and the videos that I was at Great Zimbabwe, and Great Zimbabwe was amazing. I had so much fun. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, like,